Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today I'm answering some more of your questions, such as, what's up with all the hype on Tudor watches? Are they actually any good? And would I, considering my collection, wear Seiko? All that and more in today's episode. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my limited edition H. Moser Perpetual Moon with the aventurine dial. Absolutely love this watch. My most prized watch in my collection. Loving having it on my wrists. And also, guys, don't forget to check out delraywatch.com. We just got in a Tudor Black Bay Pro. That's the new GMT. Full box, full papers, in excellent pre-owned condition. We got in a Rolex OP41 with the blue dial. Also complete, very, very nice watch. And a Cartier Santos 100, but get this, this is the last run before they were discontinued, and it has the Cartier in-house movement. Actually, a very rare bird, and I like this Santos a lot more than the new design. All that and more at delraywatch.com, the best place to buy a pre-owned watch. Link in the description below. Guys, these are some of the questions you've asked me today on my Instagram account at Federico Talks Watches. A couple times a month, you'll see a Q&A picture pop up. Feel free to ask your questions there. When we get enough questions, I delete the picture. Please don't DM me. I do not check them. And in no particular order, we start with Nikki Chap. What do I do when I go to a watch store and the sales rep is acting too good for my business? Nikki, this is easy. Leave. Get out of there. Don't forget, the sales reps are there to serve you. You are the customer. That's how I was trained. I've worked in many retail stores for many years, and I was always taught that I'm there to serve. Now, of course, treat the customer, treat the salesperson rather, with respect. Don't be entitled and all that good stuff. But if you're being treated poorly, they don't deserve your business. Get out of there and go somewhere where you will be treated as you deserve. Fran Esposto. Hey Fed, glad to see you back. We've missed your videos. Thanks, Fran. What are your thoughts on the Omega Aquaterra? I feel like it's an underappreciated everyday sports watch, but would love to hear your thoughts. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I see the Aquaterra as kind of a slightly sportier, date-just alternative in the Omega line. Yes, it doesn't get anywhere near as love as the Seamaster, but then again, the Datejust doesn't get as much love as some Mariners. In fact, no one really wanted a Datejust until some Mariners were sold out. Now, Aquaterras are very much more popular than they used to be because Seamasters are slightly harder to get. But what do I think? I think they're great. You know, in-house movements, water resistant, come in a variety of sizes and dial colors. Okay. Some could argue the design is a little boring, but that is subjective. But yes, it is a great everyday sports watch, and especially pre-owned, the prices are fantastic. The Watch Aficionado. Hey Fed, where is the watch market heading with prices on the downtread? You know, prices are still trending downwards, but I will repeat myself. I do not see this as a crash. I see this as reverting back to the mean. We are going back to pre-COVID prices. COVID inflated everything. There were shortages. There was a ton of free money here in the United States with PPP and EIDL loans. There was pent-up demand, people not going on vacation. People had money, or at least some of the lucky few had money, and that fueled luxury purchases. This is not a market crash. This is just a reversion to the mean, going back to where things rightfully should be pre-COVID economy. But yes, things are still going downwards price-wise, and it might be a little bit until they settle, but that is at least my opinion of the situation. Watch Journey 1. Would you own and wear any Seiko, not Grand Seiko, other than your SKX? Absolutely I would. I actually really like Seiko. Yes, quality control issues. Yes, they make a lot of hideous models. But, you know, I love my SKX. You said that doesn't count. I love the Patty Turtle. I love the Alpinist. I love the new GMT that came out. I love their field watches. Why don't I wear more Seikos? Well, because I only have one wrist to wear a watch. And I have I'm lucky to own a lot of very nice watches that have to compete for that wrist time. But even in my collection, I still have my SKX, and I love it, and I use it when it's appropriate. And I would own a lot more Seiko if I had a lot more space in my collection, but I'm very fortunate to kind of be able to own a few more upmarket watches. But yes, I do very, very much like Seiko, and I think everybody should have one or two to fit their various needs. FCO Perez 10. Hey Fed, huge fan of the channel. Thank you. Given the choice between the Blancpain 50 Fathoms and the Glashütte Original CQ Panorama Date, which one would you prefer and why? Well, Mr. Perez, both watches are excellent. Both movements are excellent. Both are owned by the Swatch Group. I love both. The CQ is very, very hot right now, and for good reason. It's a fantastic watch. They also cost very similarly. But I would own a 50 Fathoms. Why? For the simple reason I like the design better. I like the dial better. I love the sapphire cap bezel. But that's the only reason. One is not necessarily better than the other, at least that I've seen yet. In fact, if anything, the bracelet on the CQ is probably better than the bracelet on the 50 Fathoms. But I would own a classic 50 Fathoms non-bathyscaphe on the sailcloth strap, black dial. That's what I would wear. Last but not least, M. Quiggs. Hey Fed, love your honesty and no-nonsense approach. Thank you. Why do so many people rate Tudor so highly, including YouTubers and dealers? At the end of the day, the popular models are boring homages. Some of them have capped gold. The models that are innovative are just meh at best. It's a hype brand. Well, I don't necessarily agree or disagree with your opinion. I will start off by saying I think Tudor makes pretty good watches, high quality, at a very fair price point. But I do believe the brand has a lot of hype, and that is due to their association with Rolex. Why do dealers love it? Because they're easy to sell, me included. I sell a ton of Tudor. Why do YouTubers like it? Well, because not all YouTubers, I'm not calling out anybody in particular, they just don't know any better. They just don't know any better. They can buy a Rolex for a cut down price. In their mind, they associate the two because their headquarters are in the same building. They're the same thing, and guess what? They're actually very, very similar. I just think Rolex is massively overpriced, whereas Tudor is priced fairly. I don't actually see a major difference between Rolex and Tudor, apart from the ridiculous price on Rolex. Yes, I don't love all of Tudor's designs. I do find some of them boring. I do think there's a lot of hype there, but they do make a high quality watch. I do think it's priced fairly. I do like some of their models, and I would personally wear them. I just don't see them as the second coming. I think there's a lot of substance behind Tudor, but I think the attention it garners is because YouTubers get views out of it, or they just don't know any better because they're comparing it to Rolex, and because dealers can sell them relatively well. However, that is not to detract anything from Tudor itself, which actually is quite a good brand. It just gets a disproportionate amount of attention. However, that's just my opinion. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching another episode. Please drop a like if you enjoyed it. It really does help. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. And of course, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.